Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for real estate marketing based in technology. I am Amy Stack, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about identifying and then finding your ideal client on social media. And today we're going to be doing a little bit more workshop, so it's going to look a little different. And we're going to dig in to help these lovely people that came to join me the day before Thanksgiving be a little bit more purposeful about their business. So thanks for joining, guys. All right.
Thank you, Amy.
Of course. The first thing we need to know about finding our client on social media and where to meet them is to actually know who our client is before we start that process. So I would love to hear from you guys. And if you want to speak, fine. If you want to type in the chat, fine. Whatever you're more comfortable with. Tell me a little bit about what your ideal client looks like.
For me, my ideal client is a seller that's going to be putting his house up in the next 30 days.
Okay, a seller. So we have.
That's the people who I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily looking for buyers.
Okay.
I'm looking for sellers.
In 30 days.
If you have
so
listings.
a time frame. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I said you said seller, and then I said ideally in 30 days. So you've got a time frame there. What else? Tell me more about this person.
That's just a seller that maybe doesn't have a realtor, or I get into rapport very quickly.
Okay.
Who just has confidence in me as an agent,
Okay.
no matter how that got there, whether it's, you know, a referral or somebody else told him, or he just feels comfortable with me.
Perfect. When you are walking down the street running some errands, how do you know that that's somebody you like? There's a whole crowd of people. How do you know that somebody is a person you would like to connect with?
If it's a total stranger.
Yeah, could be.
I would like, you know, it's like, hi, Amy, how are you? What do you do? Hopefully they ask me, what do I do?
But how do you know from a crowd of people who, like, if let's say you're in a crowd of 10 people, I know it's not a big crowd, and you only have time to talk to one, how do you pick the one that you think will be most likely to fit your ideal client profile?
In that case, there's really no other information. So it's just a pulled a random pick. You just start talking to somebody, you know, just randomly there. With the idea that, you know, only one in 10, maybe if you had 1 in 10, one of those 10 people should be selling their house soon. Okay, so, within a year, I would say.
I want to, sell within a year.
I mean, if you talk with a lot of people, you know, they may be selling. You might have to talk to 100 people or 200 people to find one that's going to be selling in the next 30 days.
Right, exactly. So what I want to do is make sure that you guys have a strong idea of who you're talking to and who you're seeking out before you even go on social media, because if you write an ad or a post on social media and it says, are you looking to buy or sell? That's, you know, 1 to a million, right? You're one person trying to talk to a million people at the same time, versus if you are writing a post that is talking to a busy mom who loves Peloton and iced coffee and see, like, Angie's like, you're talking about me. Right? You probably want to work with people that, not probably, you want to work with people that you know you're going to kind of vibe with, right? So they could have some of the same personal interests as you, or you could notice that clients that have these attributes are ones that you tend to do better with. You can think about the disc profile. You can think about, am I looking for people in a certain age range? Am I looking for people in a certain type of profession? So like, what is your niche? You really want to identify that first before you start doing these targeted campaigns, ads, posts, because if you don't know who you're talking to, then you're talking to nobody, right? It's too much if you're saying, do you want to buy or sell on real estate? So let's talk about niches a little bit. That might help create this client, ideal client avatar, not an avatar like, you know, MySpace or Sims or something like that. So does anybody feel like they have a niche for their business currently, a specific type of, okay, and was it Bridget? Yeah. What, what's your niche?
So, well, we're a team, so we have a few different agents, but the top producer, I guess I'll talk about his. He definitely wants the referral. He wants it to be somebody that came from a person that really understands him as a professional, you know, what he has to offer that can be, you know, the part of the fan club, so to speak. Definitely a seller. Definitely experienced in the buying and selling process. So maybe a second home or relocating. Ideally, just to get really, you know, finite with it. He works best with vacant homes. So if we've already found their home and they've moved out, that sort of thing, or relocating to another part of the country. Age doesn't really matter, but it's really that experience part that is ideal.
So people that are, we're going to go a little bit deeper. This is a great starting point, right? So if these people are selling and they're selling their, you know, this is the second home they're selling, third home. And if they are able to move and have a vacant home, they probably are in a certain level of job or career, right? So we're looking for, like you said, a professional. And that kind of came out in what you stated with them understanding that he's a professional as well. So that mutual understanding, agreement, respect for each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're a professional, do you think that there's an average price range of home or income that he would like to typically work with?
I don't know about that, because I think, you know, retired would be just as equal as somebody currently in an established career. So I'm not sure.
So that could be two different clients. You could
True.
have a retired avatar and a working professional avatar.
True.
So that's two different posts that you write then.
Okay.
You
Makes
see
sense.
how this is, we're really niching it down, because
Yes.
if I say, you know, are you guys bursting at the seams with e-learning? I know not everybody's e-learning anymore, but you know, you write a post about, is your home bursting at the seams with e-learning? Would you really like to expand and have some more room for your kids, your pets, right? Give, Angie, I'm forgetting what your dog's name is.
The brown one is Murphy and the black one is Sam.
Okay, Murphy and Sam want a bigger backyard, right? Like, talk about that. You know, get the dogs a bigger backyard. Let's meet for tacos on a Tuesday, margaritas on me, right? And see how that's much more targeted. And if I know I like tacos and margaritas, and I like people that like tacos and margaritas, we're probably going to connect a little bit more personally to be able to build that trust and ease into that relationship more than if I'm trying to think of what I don't like. I don't know. Right. Or just saying, again, buy or sell, right?
Or, you know, something that's kind of.
Right. Like I don't know anything about senior housing. So I'm not looking for people that are looking to get into 55 and up communities or working with, you know, Medicare, Medicaid and all that type of stuff. So I don't want them to come to me because I want to focus on the people that I know I can serve at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay, so you want to think about who that, two of you said sellers already. So we know we're looking for sellers, but think about the details in their lives that's going to attract them to you. And so that you can get to the point in your business that you can say, thank you, no, thank you to anybody that doesn't fit that avatar. And it doesn't mean you don't work with them. It means you refer them to somebody else who that is their ideal client avatar, right? So one of the agents I work with specializes in VA, right? And she doesn't talk to the actual military personnel. She talks to the spouses because they're the ones that are packing up the house and moving and doing the house hunting. So when she writes her post, she talks to that person who has that load on their shoulders, right? And she knows when those people are on break and when they're working and when the military events are, and she targets her posts around those times of the day. and into the groups that those people already participate in, and throws events for those types of people to get to know them better. So do you see how that can really help you connect with your audience more if you know specifically who you're talking to?
Definitely.
This is a world of abundance that we live in, right? There's tons of leads out there. We don't need all of them. We need the ones that we know, again, we're going to serve at a high level, we can connect with and have that great relationship and give that great experience to. If we're trying to give that high-end experience to everybody, we don't know everything about every single type of deal there is, right? So figure out what type of deal you're the expert in, and then what type of people are buying or selling, you know, in that range of that meets your ideal setup of a person. Does that help kind of get you in the right like focus zone here? All right.
Definitely.
So I would encourage you guys all to come up with 3 to 5 characteristics of somebody that you want to work with. And it could be something in their real estate profile, whether it's, so you said, you know, a seller, and this is like a move up home, right? This is their second or third home. Those are real estate specific. But it could be something about their professional career, their income. It could be something about their personal life. If you know their family or their dogs, right? If you're great at finding homes for people with dogs, because, you know, dog parents, I'm a dog parent. We can be crazy sometimes. We want a house that fits our dog, right? Not just for us. So if you're a pro at doing something like that, go for it. Let the world know. And then they're going to tell their friends too, which is going to help with your referral business again. Okay. All right, so why don't you guys come up, go ahead and write down a couple of ideas of who your people are, 3 to 5 ideas, keep that in your head, write it down to have handy. And then what we can do, I'm gonna actually share my screen because everybody is in a different place, right? Different ages, different genders, different job, wherever people are working professions, those people hang out in different places online. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of search for some demographic information. So once you know who that ideal person is, you can literally just do some Google searches to figure out where they're hanging out. So does anybody have a preferred platform that they work on currently?
Facebook.
Facebook? Okay. So you can do searches like this. Facebook user demographics. 20 Facebook stats to guide your 2021 Facebook strategy. There's going to be, I like Social Sprout. HubSpot has a bunch of good stuff. Hootsuite, they have great articles too. But they're going to tell you who's where and when they're on and what parts of the platform they're using. So this will be a good way just to give you a guide of when and where to start. So if your ideal client is a first-time home buyer, they're probably in this age group here, 25 to 34. And you can see that's right here. So they're on Facebook a lot. And then these people are a little younger. And then the 35 to 44, you can see there's a pretty big drop there. India, we probably isn't relevant unless you have referral partners in India. But then you can see here, social media brand used most often for 12 to 34. So again, that would be more for first-time home buyers, right? Maybe not 12-year-olds.
Right.
But the higher end of that. And you can see that we've got a fair amount of Instagram in there as well, and then Snapchat and so on and so forth. This could fall into, Bridget, what you guys were talking about, working professionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where are they? 86% of them are on Facebook. So that's good. You're on that platform already. So it's just good to go out there and get this kind of information, at least to know what platform they're on. And I always tell people, if you're just getting started in social media, I want you to start on the platform you're most comfortable with. So even if your people aren't lining up here, there's still ways to reach out to them. So if you're comfortable with Facebook and you want to focus on building Facebook first because it's going to be less of a learning curve for you, start there, get your system in place, and then extend to another platform and figure out like the platform that you know that they're already on, right? So go to them and then figure out how to work that new platform into your strategy. Okay. So that's one thing I just want to show you. This is super simple that you can go and just kind of Google some of these ideas to find out where your people are. And since we're talking about Facebook, I do want to let you guys know that there are tons of communities on Facebook. So if you are looking for people that have specific hobbies or live in a specific geographical location, go and see if there's Facebook groups that line up with your clients' interests and join them. Then as people are asking questions, participate in the group. If somebody is is anybody part of a local neighborhood group?
Next door.
Yeah, next door on Facebook. I know like I'm near Lombard, so I live in Lombard now. So I'm in like happenings in Lombard. There's Glen Ellen, Wheaton, right? There's all sorts of town Facebook groups. There's garage sale groups on Facebook, right? There's
Mom groups,
stuff about what's going on in the town, chamber groups, stuff like that, right? People connect in those groups. You could even look off of Facebook, like meetups. They have some stuff like that. I don't know how often that's happening now with COVID, but they're still out there. Patch is another good one. Like Walter said, Nextdoor is a great one. And you don't have to do paid advertising in them, but check the rules of the groups because they're all going to have different standards, community standards. And see, anytime somebody posts in a neighborhood group about something that's even slightly real estate related, like looking for a landscaper, right? Comment with some valuable information, some resources they can use, who your team uses, who you use, who you refer out, right? But always start by saying, you know, this is Angie, your local St. Charles Realtor with the Bridget Carroll team, and then say blah, 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 right? So there's a couple of reasons for that. One is you want to put your name first so that it's always sticking in their head. They're seeing it pop up over and over and over, right? You want them to understand that you are a local professional and that's why they should trust you. So by saying your local realtor, your local St. Charles, whatever town, you know, however you want to do it, it's going to, again, instill that fact over and over again, that they are talking to somebody who's a professional in the industry and able to provide actual value and not just somebody around town that happened to find this person on Craigslist, right? You've worked with these vendors, you've vetted them already, and you're coming from contribution. You're providing value to them without expecting anything in return. Another reason you want to do that, you want to make sure that that opening sentence is the same every single time, because that will build your search engine optimization in the platform and in Google. So if somebody Googles St. Charles Realtor and Angie's saying, you know, I'm Angie, your St. Charles Realtor every single time, that's going to help you with those algorithms on Google as well. And of course, keeping you top of mind and always having that come up. People are going to keep seeing her name over and over. Oh, she's an agent. She's got all this great information, right? I can ask her when I need my handyman or my landscaper or, you know, all these things, because she's always referring stuff out. I know she's going to be the one that I can go to ask those questions for or about. So that you can do those in all types of groups. That was a neighborhood example. I actually know an agent who built, believe it or not, a whole arm of her business that she never expected because she helped one client who had bunnies and they were like me, crazy dog mom, but it was a bunny mom. And she was very helpful in understanding of all the needs of what this buyer needed when buying a home to also be able to provide for her bunnies. And this woman was in a group of other bunny rabbit lovers and introduced the agent to all these people with bunnies. And she built a whole business based off of helping people with bunnies buy homes, just because she was compassionate about it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So she got in the Facebook groups and started talking to them about that as well. You can also be in groups that aren't real estate related. I know there's a lot of different food groups out there, you know, sous vide, vegetable-based groups. What is it? Non-meat. I can't remember the actual term for it. Clearly, I'm not one of them. Thank you. Plant-based. I was like, it's escaping me. And just be in those groups, because if that's something you do, it's a way for people to connect with you, and you can start the relationship and then build the conversation later, right? It's not necessarily, you don't want, if you guys haven't heard this term, you will hear it later. You don't want commission breath. You don't want everything you say to be like, when are you buying or selling? Who do you know that's buying or selling, right? You want to build that relationship, but you want to build the relationship with the people that you know are already on the same line of thinking as you. So
I just want to take a side note right there, going about being in these groups and stuff, because I have a Peloton. I'm in a couple Peloton groups, and there's always people talking about like new careers, blah, blah, blah. And I have seen people post like, who here is a real estate agent? Let me find out more about it. I've sent people our link for our monthly Zoom to learn about being an agent.
Yep.
Nothing's come about of it yet, but you know, you never know what'll happen. So I always think about that as well.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, Angie, because and you can be more, if you want to be more purposeful about it, when you send them the link, send them a direct message too. Try to have that one-on-one conversation, because it's like, think about if you run into somebody out in the wild and you give them your business card, you're just hoping that they're going to call you. You just drop the link, you're just hoping they're going to show up to the Zoom, right?
What I do is I get their email address and I'll tell them I'll email them, and then I stick them in VidIQ, and then now they're getting my newsletters, and I'll mark them to follow up with them to see if they joined and if they had any questions. So I make sure to get their email.
I love that. Yeah. And you said something key right there. You stick them in VidIQ. I don't care if you're using Command or VidIQ or LionDesk or whatever. You need to have a database. So that's number one. If you don't have a database to put these people in, make sure you get that set up first. That way you can make sure that you're able to follow up with them. So that was a great example. And you made me think of one other thing is when you're in these groups, like you said, inevitably somebody's like, oh, you know, my daughter's getting married or graduating college, or I'm going through a divorce or whatever. These are all big life changes that are signifiers to you guys that something's going on, that they may need to make a move, right? It's always, there's two sides of it, marriage or divorce, birth or death, right? Graduation, because empty nesters, right? Job, new job, maybe they have to upsize, downsize, relocate. These are all, look for those big life events that could be indicators that they need to move or sell or purchase, whatever. And then you can go reach out to them around that fact as well to build that relationship. And because you're already in this group, have this thing in common, probably been chit-chatting about other stuff, it's not coming in cold. You already have that warm lead, basically. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is 10:56 already. We talked about a lot. What other questions can I help you with? Is there something that you want to see a specific example of?
I guess for me, I am looking at my deals I've done this year, and almost all of them are sphere or referrals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I totally 100% understand trying to find your niche, which I do. I ended up doing a lot of first-time home buyers this year. And I also got a lot of my business from my gym, either referrals or people from my gym.
Yep.
So kind of thinking about my overall, you know, I do a lot on Facebook and Instagram are my two platforms that I mainly focus on. So I guess I'm just looking for some suggestions just to keep top of mind for everybody on my platform. Rather than just saying, do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell, but be a little bit more generic, but at the same time being a little bit more purposeful, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I would pick one, buy or sell. First of all, don't say both or invest. You know, if you're looking for investors, pick one of that branch of real estate, I guess. And then if you, I have two thoughts in my head. I'm trying to decide which one to go after first. If you are doing your follow-up with your sphere that you've already worked with, that's going to be a different plan than looking for new blood, basically. But your sphere, you can get referrals from them to get new contacts into your database. So staying top of mind and asking for the referral is how you want to go after that audience. For your new audience, you're going to want to work in the fact that, you know, like you said, if you get a lot from your gym, say something about being close, want to be closer to the gym? Do you live an active lifestyle? Are you looking for XYZ resources? Are you farming St. Charles? Is that kind of where you want to be, or what area do you want to be working in?
I've done a lot in St. Charles, Geneva, and Bartlett,
Okay.
and West Chicago. So kind of like,
When you're thinking about those locations and you're writing your post, talk about why people love to live in those areas, especially if it's something you agree with, because you know you'll get them on that, right?
mhm.
So if you're looking for a buyer, talk about reasons why people want to move into the area. If you're looking for a seller, talk about things that like maybe they're ready to upgrade their home. So what is initiating that move? Ask that in the post. Like I said, are you bursting at the seams because of e-learning, right?
Mhm.
That's going to talk to those families specifically that might meet that audience for you. Or if you're working with a lot of first-time home buyers, where are they coming from? Are they renting? Are they living with mom and dad first and then moving out? Like, talk to that aspect of the conversation, right? If you guys listen to podcasts, anybody listen to podcasts?
Yes.
Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pull up this one episode. There's a agent out in Seattle named Paige Schulte who has a podcast, and she has an episode specifically about this. And I'm gonna pull it up. It's called Master Your Real Estate Marketing, I think. Pulling it up on my other screen here. And I want to find that specific one. I should probably just pull it up on my phone and tell you what episode it is. I like all her stuff.
Who was it again?
Paige Schulte. She's out of Gig Harbor in Seattle. And I'm just going into my library on my podcast right here. It is called Master Your Real Estate Marketing, is her podcast. And oops, I typed it wrong. It's loading. I'll tell you the episode number in just a minute here. Oh no, can't connect right now. All right. It's one of her earlier episodes. There, I feel we're getting warmer. These are all good ones. I'm like, oh, I should share that one. I should share that one, but you could just find her. So it's Master Your Real Estate Marketing with Paige Schulte. Huh, I can't find the one I'm looking for. Oh, here, episode 3, digging deeper into your ideal client and kicking others to the curb. It's episode 3. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, guys. Here is the link in the chat right now to the podcast, and then it's the 3rd episode is the one that talks about this stuff that we're talking about today. So that's in the chat for you if you want to listen to that one. But all her stuff's really great. I love everything that she does. So anything else that I can help you with? And I can stop hitting record. All right, 1 second.